Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Biz'ee Chat, where today I am joined by the lovely Yogita Parmar, who is a personal and business coach. Yogita coaches individuals, teams, and groups who are looking to achieve more in life and work, feel more confident, and feel fulfilled. That's quite a mouthful there. Her coaching style helps people thrive both personally and professionally whilst having fun in the process. Now, Yogita comes to our Biz'ee meetings, and I know she's talked about how she's different to other business coaches as well. So I'm hoping today we can actually find out a lot more about what she offers. And if you're, of course, interested or you need to ask any questions along the way, please do give StreamYard permission by clicking that you give permission on this post. You can comment, and obviously we'll ask Yogita any questions as we go along this morning. If you are catching on replay as well, please put any questions in the chat, and Yogita will obviously pick them up at a later time and answer any questions you have. So good morning and welcome, Yogita. How are you today?
Very well on this lovely sunny morning.
It is. It's nice to have the sun out finally. I was a bit worried this morning. It was a bit cloudy, but it's come out now, so that's good. Let's hope it's not as warm though, because it was a bit too intense yesterday.
Definitely.
So what made you choose your line of work then, Yogita?
A number of reasons, actually. So I suppose we all have a story, don't we? You know, we all start somewhere that really starts to resonate and inspire us. And mine really started in two forms. One, in an organisational setting where I was trained up as an in-house coach to really go out into the area and work with senior leadership teams to deliver their KPIs. And that was in itself a great experience. Watching and just seeing individuals and businesses thrive was a great experience in itself. But also having those skills. And unfortunately, there came a time where I experienced my own darkness, in a sense, of a family member, my sister, who became really unwell with a life-limiting condition. And I just felt really privileged to be in a position to support her and use my skills and knowledge to effectively just to change her mindset and help her deal with that change that she was going through in her life at that time, so that she could really start to make the most of life and live it to its fullest, and still achieve all those things that she wanted to. I'm really pleased to say she's still here. She's still thriving, and actually she's a really inspirational, an inspiration to other women in that position as well. So yeah, lots of reasons really, but it's really about helping other women thrive, and not just women, you know, finding success, whether that be on a one-to-one in an organisational setting or in groups and teams.
Lovely. So who would you say is your ideal client and what makes them the best customer?
You know what, in terms of ideal clients, yes, I could narrow it down. I could narrow it down to say my ideal client is the people that I've always worked with. But really it's about, for me, it's about evolving and looking out to help other people do exactly the same. My ideal client really is somebody that wants to grow and has that agility of the mindset, knows that they are either at a crossroads in their lives or experiencing some major change and just looking for somebody to reach out to. You know, somebody that is a professional that can help, is trained to help that person transition through that period of the unknown sometimes, and uncertainty in their lives, and just provide that support and help. So my ideal client is everybody who fits into that category.
Great. So how would you describe the coaching process? If I was to come to you today or another lady who's watching the chat, came to you today, how would you take them through? Is everyone the same? Is everyone different? What's your process of coaching?
So I believe the answers are within. And if only we took some time just to stop for a moment and ask ourselves a few questions, which we don't often do. You know, when do we ever get the time just to stop and reflect? And so when we do get that time and we interact with a coach, it's really about exploring what's on the inside. And I suppose a really simple analogy would be of an iceberg, which I often use with my clients. Yes, everybody's unique in their own way. They come to me with completely different situations and contexts. And when you picture an iceberg, you see the exterior, you see the tip of the iceberg out of the water, and that represents you, your exterior, your personality, and really what you want people to see. And that really characterises how you turn up and how you show up on a daily basis. Of course, under that waterline, you've got, the ice runs a lot deeper. And again, if we put that into perspective of an individual, that really represents what lies within you and your beliefs, your assumptions, the choices you make, the things that you brought along with you habitually and you've grown up with and believe that's the way forward. And these are the things that people don't see. And primarily that's where I as a coach will work with you.
So just to recap, you've said what the process is. I'm assuming that the coaching process varies in length depending on what people have got under that iceberg tip and what they need to do. Is it an ongoing thing that you have to keep going at, or once you've solved something, they can stop being coached? How does that actually work in terms of the timeline?
It's a really good question. Yes, everybody's unique and individual, and what they come to me with. Often I find that people come with a mindset of it's a quick fix and I'm fixed and that's it, it's done. Of course, we've been living in this way and following these habits for such a long time that it does take time. Absolutely. So, often I see people for probably a minimum of 6 sessions. Some of my clients I've seen for over a year, and they continue to work, not just through, they may have come through with a work situation that they really want to grow and evolve. And then they'll revert it back to life and say, well, how about my personal life? Because one tends to feed into the other quite naturally without us even realising. So perhaps you can help me with this area as well. And holistically, that works really well. So that we can really start to work on the kind of 3 pillars of emotional, physical, and financial well-being.
Okay. So what would you say is the best thing about what you do?
So much to share. There's not just one best thing, there's so many. I know that I didn't have a coach when I was in the early stages of my career, and I so wish I had. That this is again part of my purpose, and the way forward for me is helping lots of people personally. And for me, I see people, I see the change, I see them grow. If I give you an example of a case study, I had a client come to me. In fact, she started off not really knowing if she wanted to be coached, and she just came along for a few sessions. And she said, I just never feel confident answering the phone. I'm not one to complain. If there's something that needs changing, like a pair of jeans in a shop, I would never do that. I'd be so worried. I'd just keep hold of them. Something, and even if she was right, and there'd been an error, she would never speak up. And we did some work, and we worked on this together. And her confidence really started to grow, and she evolved, and she said to me, you know what, I think about you sit on my shoulder all the time, she said, when I'm in life generally. And now she goes out and she's absolutely feeling really confident, to the extent that she now has a job. She's decided to get a job and work answering the phone.
Oh, wow. There's a complete turnaround.
Absolutely. So it's great to see that you know, that transition. And some people say to me, you know, do you have to be working to be coached? You know, can you just be at home having to look after children? Absolutely. You know, coaching is for everyone across all the range. And equally, I had somebody come to me and she said, you know what, something I've always wanted to do is write my own book. I wanted to write my own novel. She said, I just feel like I have, you know, but I don't think I'm capable. I don't think I'm good enough. And that's something that we all experience is, you know, the inferiority, and we lack self-belief. And again, you know, she's on that journey now. She's done some writing courses, and she's moving along in the right direction. But equally, I work with entrepreneurs, and being one myself, I absolutely understand the struggles of what people experience. And again, I think the question for entrepreneurs is, what do you define as success? And people really need to understand what it is that they're looking for. What, you know, what does success mean to them, and how do they come to that conclusion that is what success looks like? And that's great. It's a great thing to really explore. So yeah, lots of great things about working with all the people that I do.
So what would you say has been your biggest challenge?
Probably it's starting a university degree at the age I am, the young old age I am. Yeah, that's been a bit of a challenge. You know, 3 essays, and going back to university on a, you know, part-time basis, and that's mainly due to my lifelong, you know, ambition for learning. I signed myself up for a level 7 masters in coaching, and so I'm on that journey now. The other thing, I suppose, is when you start up your own business, you want to increase your visibility. And that's been a bit of a struggle in terms of continuously being able to regularly post and you know, take part in events like this one. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's the mindset of just trying something new, giving it a go, and see how you get on.
So where would you say most of your customers come from?
I think the majority come through referrals, which is great, because then that really just advocates that person's had a great experience enough to then refer me to other people. And I suppose the thing about referrals is it's come from a really deep place. You know, that person has experienced something that has really brought them on board. You know, that some people have never experienced coaching, and I think if you've never experienced coaching, give it a go. It's one of those things you can only but try, and it just helps you with life across the board. It creates transitions. I mean, the pandemic is a classic example of that. I felt very privileged to help key workers and people in the NHS, and some really, you know, experience some real emotions myself, keeping myself in check, listening to some of these people who maybe consultants, for example, that have to isolate in one area of their house because they don't want to infect the rest of their family, and you know, they have everything else they need. They've worked really hard to be where they are, and still feel that fear, and that potentially, you know, we don't even think about.
So how do you plan to grow your business?
Continue to network, and create visibility. Also continue to experience new ideas and innovative ways of evolving. So something I'm looking to embark on is a freedom facilitator, and that helps women who have been abused or physically, emotionally. And again, you know, that's something I've always wanted to do. continue to grow through my studies. I'm going through my second lot of, a tilt practitioner. So I'm also a tilt practitioner, and basically that's a 365 model. It's an assessment, but it's short, it's fun, it's unique, it's really relevant as well in terms of the language. And I'm just on the next stage of tilt, which really sets itself apart from some of the other assessments, just around the fact that it not only tells you who you are, but why you do it that way.
So what would you say you're passionate about?
Learning for sure, continuing. I think my passion drives me at 100 miles an hour sometimes, and I think it's just about slowing that down a bit on the other end of the scale. So I'm passionate about really supporting people, and they feel empowered and ready to deal with change and concepts. And I'm passionate about people in terms of relationships, and I think that's a real key one. People always have relationships, and at the moment it's online. And what happens is, within relationships, we sometimes have negative experiences, and then it becomes a challenge, and we don't know how to deal with that. So often we just avoid it, or we make assumptions about situations. And wouldn't it be great if we could really start to unpick relationships and be really comfortable with the way we show up with people? And I've got a great quote from a person called Stephen Covey, and he says, we judge others by their interactions, and we judge ourselves by our intentions. And I think that's so true. We don't intend to cause harm, but often we just take hold of that situation and the actions of one person without really understanding. And I think relationships in the current climate, working from home, is key.
So if you could give one piece of advice to someone starting a business similar to yours, what would it be?
Can I give two?
You can. You can give as many as you like.
I would say, for sure, get yourself qualified. More and more people are looking for qualified coaches, and it just, I suppose, it gives you credibility. So if you're in particular, if you're working for an organisation, it gives you that credibility, and they know, and that you have coached X amount of 100 hours, etc. So you have that experience as well. So yes, definitely, qualifications, information, and general knowledge is key, I think. And the other thing is, know what you want and who you are. Find out those two things before you start your business, and really start to align your values with your business values, so that the two will absolutely work in harmony. Often people start their business looking at others that may be more established years down the line, and judge them in the sense that they're not very successful because they're not where that person is.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot to be said for that. So yes, a few bits of advice there.
So what would be the one thing you'd like viewers to take away today, to remember you for?
What would I like them to remember me for? I would say it's probably another quote, actually. I'm just one of those fanatical readers that absorbs everything through reading. And one of my favourite psychologists is Carl Jung, actually, and he says, until you make the unconscious conscious, you'll continue to live your life and end up calling it fate. So if you can remember that, hopefully you'll remember me.
So is there anything else you'd like to add, Yogita, to tell the viewers about your business? Do you have any offers? Is there anything that you do that you'd like to encourage people to come and contact you with? And I'll just put up actually your website address. So if anyone would like to get in touch, as you can see on the screen, we have Yogita's website, which is www.melvue.co.uk. And all her contact details are on there. If you would like to learn more about Yogita, the details are on there. But do book in a chat with her as well, because obviously websites only say so much, especially with something so personal. It'll be really good if you could all actually arrange a chat with Yogita to find out how she can actually help you.
Absolutely. Please do reach out, even if you're not sure if it's for you. I have got some special offers. I'm offering half price coaching. And actually there is a website I can direct you to that I work with another wellbeing organisation. And wouldn't it be great if you could just book yourself a slot for half an hour? The great thing about what I'm doing with this wellbeing organisation is that they offer affordable coaching. And something that I'm really keen to jump on board. So yes, do reach out, and it's literally half price. Yeah,
that's fantastic. So if you are looking to achieve more in your life and work, feel more confident and feel fulfilled, I'm always having a problem with that today, then please get in touch via Yogita's website. Again, it's www.melvue.co.uk. Thank you very much, Yogita, for joining me this morning on Biz'ee Chat. If there are any questions from anyone who is watching this either on YouTube or on Facebook, and you want to ask Yogita any questions, please do either visit her website and contact her directly that way, or do drop a comment, hashtag replay, and do ask. Yogita will be more than happy to answer anything there. We do have further Biz'ee chats. We do have another one next week. Next week, even tomorrow. There is one next week as well, but there is one tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So please do join me again here, same place. And I will be speaking to Annabelle all about her style and colour business. So please do join me then. Thank you very much, Yogita, once again for joining me. And I will see everyone again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.